You have a desire for a different reality. It is because a parallel timeline version of you is already living it, and that very desire means that it exists somewhere else, and that's calling you towards it. That parallel timeline version of you is calling you towards it with desire, with messages, with dreams, sometimes with flashes of a different life that you could have. But there are three things that are keeping you separate from that reality. There's a gap between you and that parallel timeline version of you, and it's made up of your identity systems, your vibrational frequency, and your beliefs. Your beliefs and your emotions are what create your reality. It's what reflects back to us what we are experiencing in this reality, the one that you are experiencing right now, because there are parallel versions of you that are experiencing very different things because they have a different identity, different belief systems, and a different vibrational frequency. They feel different on a consistent basis. Beliefs are one of the number one things that are keeping you apart from that reality, but there's actually two parts to beliefs. I'm Alyssa, and I remind you that this timeline is optional. There's the first part that we've all heard about, limiting beliefs. Things that you believe about yourself. I don't believe I'm lovable, so you can never quantum jump to the reality where you're with your soulmate. You don't believe that you're good enough, so even if you're going out for job interviews or auditions or however you're putting yourself out in the world, you are not getting that job, getting that part, getting the promotion because you have this underlying belief that you're not good enough. So you're just projecting that back out and you're experiencing that same experience over and over. The universe is responding to. It's responding to your dominant beliefs, your dominant vibrational frequency, and your identity. What you assume to be true about reality and yourself. Limiting beliefs is the first thing that we learn about. And when I first learned about limiting beliefs, I did shift things in my life. Things did change, but they didn't change as much until I learned the second part of beliefs. Shifting your limiting beliefs is very powerful. It can help you align with a different identity in order to quantum jump to the reality that you desire. When you do processes like NLP, hypnosis, EFT, if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. You can journal out your limiting beliefs. Every time I've taken ayahuasca or mushrooms, stuff comes up. Shadow work is a good way to look at your beliefs. And when you actually have a healing and actually change your beliefs, maybe changing what that thing, how you viewed that experience in your life, changing what something meant to you in childhood. There's different ways that you can rewire your brain to have different beliefs so that you can believe that you're lovable, so that you can believe you're good enough, so you can have more confidence. And that is part of shifting your beliefs because the version of you that has what you desire, whether it be a relationship, lots of money, a different job, friends, health, a better body, they have different beliefs about themselves and reality. And part of that is they don't have the certain limiting beliefs that you have. But the other part is their identity. They believe they are different and they believe that reality is different for them. They believe that what their life is normal. They assume that reality. If you've ever manifested anything in your life, and I don't believe we actually manifest anything, I think you just quantum jump to the reality where it already exists. But if you've ever had something that you really wanted, and then now you've had it for a while, like if you ever wanted to be with your soulmate and now you're married to them, or you wanted to move somewhere and now you live there and that's your normal everyday reality, notice how it doesn't have that urge and that excitement anymore because you expect that for your reality. You open your eyes and you expect to live wherever you live. That is your baseline reality. That's your baseline belief of what's possible for you. And sometimes why when we're manifesting things or jumping to a different reality, trying to, and we don't quite get there, the thing starts to show up. Maybe you start to date the person and then you self-sabotage yourself energetically and you break up or it doesn't work out, or you get an opportunity for a promotion or an audition or a job interview and you don't get the thing. It's because your belief system doesn't quite believe that you can live in that reality. But the things that you expect, even if at one time you did not, that what you're assuming about reality, how you expect your life to be, the car that you have, what you expect to see when you open your eyes in the morning, going out on your front yard, what you're expecting and assuming about reality stays true for you until you shift that. And that's the second part of beliefs with quantum jumping. I shared that when I made my biggest quantum jump, the way that beliefs shifted for me was I had already done a lot of limiting belief work and I was having dreams that I was married to my soulmate, but I was in a different relationship and I was really wanting to believe that relationships could be better for me. I was wanting to move, I was wanting to own property, all these things I wanted, and I kept doing limiting belief work and it got to like an edge kind of because the other truth is whatever you're focusing on is expanding. So I kept thinking my relationship isn't as good as I want it to be. I can't buy property. These things aren't happening because I need to clear one more limiting belief about myself. And that was not the truth. The truth was I needed to believe more in that parallel reality than I believed in this reality. It's like the law of assumption. I needed to assume the end. I needed to assume that my life was different because at a certain level, I was doing limiting belief work, but like I just kept spiraling in what else is wrong with me? What else do I need to fix? And it became this trap of more things seemed to pop up that were wrong with me when I could have, what I actually ended up doing was just made a choice that I was going to focus on that other reality that I was seeing in my mind, that I was wanting so badly, that I was desiring, that this version of me was calling me towards it. I just chose to direct my focus to that reality. And I didn't need to ask myself, what does she believe that I don't believe anymore? Because I had done so much limiting belief work and it had only gotten me to a point. What did I need to do? I needed to feel like I lived in that reality and I needed to just believe that because that version of me had it, I could too. And that is the number one thing I did to quantum jump. So I was in a shitty apartment, going through a breakup, knowing that I wanted to live by the beach, have a home, be with a soulmate, be with this guy that I was having dreams about that I hadn't talked to in 15 years. And instead of, I didn't actually, I don't know that I actually, there was a period of time when I was trying to energetically like get him to call me and I was trying to like do all this manifestation stuff that wasn't working because of divine timing, but I also wasn't an energetic match to it. But it wasn't until I decided this reality that I'm dreaming about, whether it ends up being that exact reality, that exact guy living by, I actually moved to a better beach than I wanted to. I moved near a beach that ended up, the universe had a better plan for me. My life is actually better than I was trying to quantum jump to. The point is, what you have to do is when you have that vision of the thing you want, whether it be a type of relationship, a type of job, and maybe it's not going to be that specific thing, but once you start to know that that reality actually exists and you start to believe that it is happening somewhere else and just direct your focus and your emotional set point and frequency and feel like you live in the reality, that's the belief that then your mind starts to think that that is your life. And that's when reality actually flips. That's when things show up, bridge of incidents happens, opportunities that were not currently in your reality because you weren't a match to them show up. People offer you stuff. I've also had experiences of when I was doing a lot of prayer work and I just shifted my beliefs about money, like unexpected checks come in the mail, things like that happen because you are just knowing that that reality exists and it stops being a battle with you trying to change what else is wrong with me, what must I need to believe to get over there. It's simpler than that. It's saying there's a version of me that's literally living that and they are connected to me. And since I have a desire, that means it's literally meant for me. Desire means from the Father. Our desires are our roadmap. So if you can just start to focus your attention on that reality, and you do this by visualization. I share that I picked one song that made me feel like the type of relationship I wanted, the type of like home I wanted to live in, what I felt like it would feel to live near the beach, what I felt that my life could feel like on a daily basis. I picked one song and I would listen to it and it made me feel like I lived in the reality I live now. There's all sorts of tools. You can do scripting if that makes you feel better. Whatever it gets to get you in that feeling of this is your life and it takes you, you take your mind off of your current reality. And the other part is the part of surrender. And it's not the way you think. It's not that you give up and you're like, I'm letting go. But when you're surrendering in the energy of you're not looking for it anymore. And this is tricky because you're still focusing on it. You're still doing things to make yourself feel like you live in that reality every day. You're visualizing, you're listening to a song. I also like to listen to a song and close my eyes and dance around. That really gets the energy going for me. And it's funny when people come in the room when you're doing that, they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, manifesting. But you're still doing something to make you feel like you live in that reality. It's like you're choosing to visit that reality every day, but then you also have to stop looking for it. Because when you're looking for it, you're in the vibration of lack. When you're asking, where is the flower tree that I planted? You're in lack. So it's every day, 2 to 3 times a day, choosing to saturate your energy and visit that reality in your mind you're visiting the version of you that lives in that reality. You're doing that, and you're at the same time not looking for it anymore, and you're being okay with this reality while you're focused on this reality because you know that this reality is inevitable. It's assuming that you already have what you desire. And that's actually when your identity shifts too. When you start visiting that reality more often than not, you start to behave more like that version of you. You're making different choices. You are letting go of things that are lowering your frequency, and raising your frequency is one of the things you need to do to quantum jump, because that version of you has a higher vibrational frequency than you do because they feel better on a consistent basis. So you visit the reality and you stop looking for it, and that's when the magic happens. That's when things show up that you could not have planned. This also happened when I made a quantum leap in work, and I had been trying so hard to like get acting jobs, and like I didn't want to work at this bar anymore, even though I was like making really good money, but I was like I was just I felt so shitty there. And I was like, why can't I change this? And then I did a bunch of plant medicine work. I started to believe that that because I desired not to be there, there was something better for me. And I literally, bridge of incidents, met this person who offered me a job doing one thing, which wasn't actually the thing I'm doing now, but that turned into me like being the face of a brand, and all this stuff that I could not have planned happened. But that person couldn't have come in my reality had I not believed that there's a version of me doing something different. There's a version of you that is falling asleep next to your soulmate every night, that is waking up in their dream home, that has their best career. And you just have to visit it every day and also stop looking for it, because lack, when we're in the vibration of lack, the thing can never come to us. And I shared in a short the other day when I was actually trying to contact my husband, because he wasn't my husband then. But I was like, "Oh, I'm having dreams that we're married. I haven't talked to you in 15 years. Let me call you." I was trying to find his number. I was trying to find people that had his number. I couldn't find it. And the weirdest thing happened. I decided I was visiting that reality every day. I was like, if it's not him, I'm going to still listen to the song. This is the type of relationship I want. I know I'm moving towards the beach. I used to go to the beach every day and run. And I used to put myself in the vibration of what I wanted. I was hanging out with my friends more. I was like, I'm not looking for where is this guy or where is any guy. And what the weirdest thing happened, and this was my bridge of incidents. I open up my this dresser that had moved with me. This dresser had moved with me like 6 times because it was an old cell phone from 15 years ago that had his phone number on it. And it wasn't there before. I'm telling you, it was not there. I thought I threw the phone away, but I vibrated enough to that reality that something physical showed up in my life that I was able to call him. Those That's what I mean when reality actually flips, because it's like when you lose a sock and it goes to a parallel reality. We are moving in and out of different realities, just most of them look very similar. But when you're wanting to get to one that's like vastly different, that's why you have to do the energy work to become a match for it. And then different things show up in your reality. Different people show up in your reality. Like right place, right time. That's you quantum leaping to a reality where you meet the person that you're supposed to meet, because there's another timeline where you're like 5 minutes late and you never like merge with the people you're supposed to meet that are going to bring you the thing that is getting you to your timeline. Things don't manifest. There's just different realities where there's every possibility already happening. Quantum physics tells us there's all probability. If you look up the Devil's Slit experiment, it's kind of hard for me to explain, but I have a hard time explaining this experiment. But if you look it up, there's people on YouTube that explain it really well. But it has to do with these like particles, and it's very sciencey. But when the scientists were like focused on one thing, different outcomes showed up based on what they were expecting. And that is what reality is. Our reality is showing up based on what we're expecting, which is our belief systems and the frequency that we're in. The people we're around are a match to our vibrational frequency. The opportunities we're around, or the opportunities we don't have, are a match to our vibrational frequency. Checks coming in the mail or checks not coming in the mail has to do with us being an energetic match, because there are so many different possibilities in every day of your life, and there are different parallel realities based on all the little choices that we're making. But the key about belief is believing that it exists because I started to believe so fully in this reality. And then I started to be like, I'm just going to enjoy visiting it. I didn't do anything to make it happen except when I got the phone, I called him. But besides that, I didn't do anything until the action showed up. But I just was enjoying visiting the reality. So it's about getting in believing that that reality exists, believing there's a version of you that's already living there, believing that if they have it, you can too, visiting it with joy and not waiting and not looking for it to flip. And that's when it flips because you're no longer in lack. When you're visiting it and you're feeling like you live there, you're in a place of having, you're in a place of assuming, you're in a place of living in the end. And that's when reality actually flips and the thing shows up or something comes out of thin air and or you know the next step you need to take but that wasn't available to you from your limited consciousness that you were at before, from your vibrational frequency, from your identity, and from your belief systems. If there is something that you really desire and you can't stop thinking about it, there's another version of you that's living that. And that is proof that they are living it. And if you desire it, you are meant to have it too. Match your identity, your belief systems, and your vibrational frequency with that reality. Let go of what you need to let go of. Say yes to what you need to say yes to. Stop looking for it to show up and just live in the frequency of it already showing up, and reality will flip for you. Remember, this timeline is optional. Much love.